Hello again, friends. This is Alfred Einstein coming to you once again from the Specialized Pockets of Knowledge Studios. In today's video, we'll discuss the differences between owning real estate versus owning the first mortgage secured by real estate.
Yes, no.
With that said, let's get right into it, shall we? Each of the two investments have their benefits and their drawbacks. Let's begin with owning the real estate, and here are the benefits. With real estate ownership, you get to enjoy potential appreciation. That's great when the real estate market is appreciating. When it's not, it's either going down or stagnant, it's not so much of a benefit. But in most cases, when you buy real estate, the value intends to go up. So we're going to count that as a benefit. It's very easy to locate properties to buy. Let's face it, MLS is full of them, and every county and state has foreclosures and tax deed sales as well. So you always have properties to buy. It's easy to borrow against. There's platforms, criteria, and loads of lenders. Lots of guys have money that they need to put it to work, and one of their favorite places to put it to work is loaning against real estate. It's easy to establish the value. I'm not going to say it's easy, but all the numbers that you need in order to establish value are available to you somewhere on the internet through MLS, something. You can more easily establish the value of real estate than, let's say, an antique toothbrush. Another benefit is that there's established marketing procedures. So when you want to sell it, you can either put a sign in your yard, put an ad on social media, give it to a broker. There's lots of ways to do it. And that's where buyers go to look. So there's established marketing procedures, makes it really easy. Drawbacks to owning real estate.
Remain calm. All is well.
Now, since I've owned over 2,600 properties in my day, I'm pretty familiar with professional tenants. And unfortunately, the drawbacks for owning real estate came from my time with those professional tenants. Vandalism. When your property is vacant, vandals are going to help themselves to whatever they can find. In Florida, it's different because just homeless people lived in there. In Ohio, bought me a couple houses in Cleveland, went home, came back 3 weeks later, all the copper was pulled out of the wall. All the copper. Never seen such a thing. So vandalism is a real drawback to owning real estate. Owning property in Florida, I had to deal with hurricanes. You, wherever you are, you might have to deal with other naturally occurring disasters. But hurricanes drive our insurance costs up. They destroy cities. They hurt people. They're terrible things, especially if you own a house that's the eye is heading for. Tenants, I previously talked about professional tenants. I don't have any gray hair. I wouldn't have any gray hair if it wasn't for them. So look at the gray hair I got. Yeah, tenants will make you nutty. Property taxes. Do you notice your property taxes never go down? How is that? And why is that? Well, that's because the politicians that collect that property tax use the money for whatever they want to use it on. It's never going to go down. Property insurance, we talked about that a little bit with hurricanes and natural disasters. Insurance in Florida is impossible to obtain. Impossible. Pay debt service. If you own property, more likely than not, you also have a mortgage that you're responsible to pay every month. It's one of those things. It's not a benefit. It's a drawback. It's at this point in the video that I'll kindly ask you to click the important buttons down there. You know what they are. Thank you kindly. You might be new to mortgage investment, but I think stretching your comfort zone just a little might prove to be an interesting and profitable exercise. Let's talk about owning the first mortgage secured by real estate. Some of the benefits include a safe and reliable income source. The reason it's safe is because the property more likely than not is occupied by an owner. So that's a good thing. They're going to make their payments to you on time, and they're going to allow you to earn an income. Another benefit, you have to pay real estate taxes, but you charge it to the borrower. The borrower will pay your real estate taxes as well as any increases because it's their house. Pay property insurance, but that too charged to the buyer. The buyer's house, the borrower's house. So you don't have to pay for it. And if God forbid something happens and they don't pay, you can always pay for the insurance, but you get the money back from them. Not bad. Very limited exposure to vandals or hurricane damage. That's because you are the lender. You're not the owner or the borrower. No tenants. My God, that's great. You deal directly with the homeowner or servicer that's working it for you. Another big benefit about owning the mortgage is that there's huge pricing discounts. In other words, when you buy a mortgage that's in default, depending upon your level of skill, you're going to pay basis points. Back in the day, the very first portfolio that we bought, we paid 22 cents on the dollar. Sure, the mortgage was in default for over 6 months, but we worked it out and we got the borrower to get their payments back in line with the true amortization schedule. They paid timely, and for all I know, they're still paying because I don't work with that group anymore. Now, if you think about it, if you're going to buy a mortgage that's in default, how much of a discount would you be happy with when you purchase a mortgage? Think about that. I told you we paid 22 cents on the dollar for a pool of mortgages. Okay, let's go to some drawbacks now, because I can see some of you getting really big smiles because owning the mortgage is great, but there are some drawbacks. One is that you get no appreciation.
What?
That's right. No appreciation. Your principal balance is what your principal balance is. Nothing you can do to increase it. Unlike real estate, where you get to enjoy appreciation. When you own the mortgage, there's no appreciation. I'm drilling this home for a reason. Another downside, mortgage servicing can be both expensive, difficult, and frustrating. Depending upon the laws in your state, you can choose to self-service loans that you own. I generally prefer to self-service, as I have more confidence in my own ability to reach a compromise than I do with even special servicers that pay their people a pittance and have absolutely no skin in my game. So we talked about that. No appreciation. The principal amount of the mortgage cannot and will not ever increase. Here's another drawback to owning a mortgage. Selling the mortgage as a means to gain liquidity comes at a steep price. Let's say, for example, you buy something for 22 cents on the dollar, good deal, but now you become cash tight and you put this thing on the market, and what are you going to get? 6 or 7 cents on the dollar. So don't think that you're going to buy and sell mortgages really. Another drawback is there's no means to measure market value. Unlike real estate, whenever the property sells at 123 Main Street, you can look it up in the public records, reverse engineer the documentary stamps, and figure out what the price was that was paid for it. You can't do it with mortgages. There's no indication of what seller A sold a mortgage for to buyer A. There's no indication. You don't know. It's a private transaction. So how do you establish value of a mortgage? That's a trick, isn't it? That's all the time we have for today. I made a good case for both owning real estate as well as owning the mortgage.
We're gone, killer.
Remember, always visit your local real estate investor club meetings for more information about real estate. Get your finger on the pulse, all those good kind of things. Nothing bad can happen if you attend a real estate club meeting. And on a side note, I'm currently working on a project involving investment and first mortgages. Please leave me a comment below in the section if you wouldn't mind having a look at some of the beta information I'm gathering for that project. I certainly would appreciate it. Thank you all again, and remember, you don't know what you don't know. And until next